One is to prevent Google from striking deals for prime search engine placement. Referenced how Google pays Apple $20 billion annually.
Amazon has their own search engine?
I missed it.
No, you just said prime search engine placement.
Oh, you very much confused me. I was
That's
like,
what I
wait,
mean. I
what?
missed it. You know.
Thought maybe.
But yeah, we've talked about how much Google pays Apple.
What is up, people of the internet? Welcome back to another episode of the Waveform podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Marques.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Nintendo Switch 2.
And we're going to keep this big going.
I don't really know how long we're going to keep doing this.
We might as well. It's early in the SEO, so that might work. Thanks, Transcript. In today's episode, we got some updates. Actually, it's a lot of updates to things. Bluesky, Apple Intelligence, what else? Switch 2 pre-orders are on the list. Multiple antitrust lawsuits, because those are going to keep getting updated. So tech moves fast, and lots of updates happen, so we're going to keep covering them. It's great. Right. Yeah. Hey, but yeah, if that sounds interesting to you, make sure you get subscribed to the Waveform podcast here on YouTube, because it turns out a lot of people see these in their homepage, and they do watch them and enjoy them, but then they don't subscribe, and it would be cool if you did.
But if you don't like us, don't subscribe.
That's very important.
It'll be really annoying if we pop up making a Nintendo Switch 2 joke in your feed every
important.
week,
Yeah,
and
I'm
you
sorry.
don't like us.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
And we make a lot of inside jokes.
We do make a lot of them. You got to subscribe to figure out what the inside jokes are.
It's true.
One day we should do like just a big episode where we just explain all the inside jokes, and that's it.
I bet we
Just
could.
reference
Make it
that
so much
episode if you want to know what we're talking about.
As a footnote every time we make the joke.
But we have two small things first. The first one is within like a couple of hours of last episode, somebody on our subreddit made the crank prototype that you have to wind in to watch YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Which was crazy.
Yeah.
Pretty insane. I didn't see it working, but I'm going to take their word for it.
They only posted pictures.
Right.
I'm going to throw it out there. If you could post a video, that would be awesome. I would like to see that. But it is not lost on us that we have an audience big enough that literally within 12 hours, someone like made a stupid joke that we made in a game.
So awesome.
That's like so crazy to see. And
Please
really
do not
cool.
bring any of the others to life. Please.
Force Marques to pick people up on the
Please
street
do not do that.
and watch that horrible, listen to that horrible song on Spotify.
You don't need it.
So there was a comment that was just like, how dare you for playing that long?
I was like, Ellis, I can't think. I can't think.
But the second thing is actually a question that I have for you guys listening and watching, especially here on YouTube. So a little backstory. For the last couple of probably more than a year, last couple months, we've been working on both doing transcripts for every MKBHD video and more recently, dubs in multiple languages for MKBHD videos in an attempt to make them more accessible to people in different regions who don't speak English. You may know a lot of people who watch our videos mostly live in English-speaking regions and watch videos in English. But if you live in a Spanish-speaking country, you might not watch these videos unless you have captions or maybe a dub in Spanish. And so it kind of unlocks availability of these videos. So we've been experimenting with it and trying a bunch of different things. We found something that works pretty well for captions. The dubs are interesting because we've experimented both with humans who speak both languages, both English and, say, Spanish, doing a direct translation, but they don't really sound like me. And
they also take a long time.
They also take much longer and obviously are pretty pricey. But then there's also AI dubs, which are a machine that sounds like me, but isn't necessarily a perfect representation. You know how Google translates a little off sometimes, but it actually does a voice dub of something that sounds like me in that other language, which is really interesting. It's faster, it's cheaper, but it's not as accurate. We've been playing with this a lot in different videos, different timing, different sorts of things. And the question that I have for you guys is specifically in our number 2 most popular country, which, pop quiz, is
India.
India. A lot of people in India speak multiple languages or do speak English or speak Hindi or sometimes switch back and forth between the two. And some of them watch videos in English or Hindi. I don't know if you've watched tech YouTube in India. Sometimes they switch back and forth as well. And the latest video, which was a Light Phone 3 review, we uploaded it at the same time with dubs in my voice in Spanish and Hindi.
I thought you learned Hindi.
No, yeah, I didn't learn Hindi. This was actually a dub. And Interestingly, Spanish, mostly positive feedback. People watching the videos in Spanish-speaking regions. What happens on YouTube is they detect that you're in a Spanish-speaking region and automatically play the video with the Spanish language. And a lot of people I saw on Twitter were very excited. Like, oh, wow, I can watch the video basically in English on this channel, or in Spanish on this channel. And I saw mixed feedback from India because a lot of people in India, like I said, watch videos in English. And so when they opened the new video, it defaulted to the audio track of the Hindi dub.
Oh.
When they actually are pretty used to watching videos in English.
Yeah.
And so some people were saying, oh, wow, this is Hindi. I like this better. I'll watch this. A lot of people were like, no, I don't like this. I'd rather watch in English like I usually do.
Yeah.
And so I had a small sample size. This is why I'm opening it up to the Waveform commenting audience. If you live in India and watch YouTube videos, what do you prefer? Do you prefer defaulting to English or defaulting to Hindi? You can dive into the settings and change it on a per video basis, but I'm curious what your default is in what you watch on YouTube.
I can see I think the biggest issue we have here is that it defaults based on region, because we've already shown that India is our number 2, like, most watched country. So they clearly are enjoying it in English. We wanted to do Hindi, so it might branch out to some more people. But it defaulting if you were already a subscriber and used to it. Yeah. That's probably annoying to now check it off every time.
I think that's why it hit. So like in a lot of countries that are not on our top countries list, they're not on the list because most people don't watch videos in English in those places. So if you just pick a random country that doesn't speak English and then give them a dub, that might boost the amount of people who enjoy the videos in that country. But in like US or a bunch of places here that speak English, they don't want to dub in a language they're not used to. So that's kind of why it feels like we're seeing that level of feedback.
Yeah. Our other question is the difference between a human-created dub or an AI dub. It's not even really the price that's our issue. It's that I think a human one usually takes about 5 days, 4 to 5 days, where we can get an AI one in less than 24 hours and sometimes upload at the same time. So we're not sure if, like, we've been testing both of is it a good benefit for us, because is 5 days after the release kind of too late
most of the time? Yeah, it's a great point, because if you look at the curve of an upload, it's like this, and usually after 5 days it's there, and everyone's watched it who's going to watch it. Like tech videos have a really short shelf life a lot of times. Evergreen videos, maybe people watch it longer down the road. That's cool. But yeah, I do think we got some feedback about the AI dub not being as accurate.
Oh, for sure.
And I can't fact check that because I don't speak the other languages.
Right.
So TBD.
It's definitely a pickle we're in, but would love to hear some feedback on a larger audience than just Twitter, I guess. So that's why we're posing it to you all. But next thing.
Speaking of YouTube audiences, I got that one good. We're recording this on Wednesday, which is the day of the anniversary of the 20th year since the first upload to YouTube. I could have phrased
that was better. The longest way to phrase that process.
20th anniversary of the first YouTube video.
Rewind. This is the 20th anniversary of the first YouTube upload.
Yeah.
There you go. Me at the Zoo by Jod. Yeah, 2005.
Yeah, the thing about those elephants is that they have really long snouts.
Do you remember the script for this video?
Yeah, I watched it this morning.
Is that what he said?
It's also like, yeah.
I don't remember.
It's also
like
20 seconds long.
Could have been trivia.
Really,
that could have been.
It's chaptered off now too.
What?
Wait.
Really?
I noticed that this morning. I was like, these chapters are flying by because it's 19 seconds.
19 seconds.
You look intro.
That's funny.
Wait, it's
intro
chaptered, but they're just all called intro. Intro, the cool thing, end.
That's pretty funny.
Do they just like test half their features on this video?
No, I think he logs back in.
Oh, he logs back in?
Yeah, he's notoriously like changed the description of the video multiple times and like pinned comments because he was a founder of YouTube. Yeah. So when he adds something there, it's like the founder of YouTube just said something because he changed the description of the video.
Did you see that on the video? There's a little birthday cake.
Yeah.
Just for today. It might be gone by the time you listen to this podcast, but I thought that was pretty cool.
That video can almost drink just one more year.
That's 20. In the U.S., they can drink basically anywhere else.
It can already enlist in the army.
Yeah, that it can too.
I have some interesting numbers I'd like to share with you guys.
47.
That are pretty crazy. So, number one.
That's a pretty crazy number.
Number one is this was the first video uploaded to YouTube. It was 2005. Since then, over 20 trillion videos have been uploaded to YouTube.
Hey, Adam from the future here. So I'm editing this episode and it turns out that YouTube actually updated their blog to say 20 billion YouTube videos, not 20 trillion YouTube videos as we say here. Okay, back to the episode.
If I had a nickel.
You'd be pretty wealthy, my friend.
I don't know if you understand
What could pay off the U.S. national debt?
Like the amount of storage space.
Yeah.
The amount of content.
Yeah.
20 trillion, not 1 trillion.
Yeah.
20 trillion.
I would like to know how much storage YouTube is currently actively
20 trillion?
hosting.
Would you?
20 trillion.
Yes.
Would you like to know that?
Yes.
Because it would probably blow your mind.
That's why I would like to know. I would really
And it's pretty.
like to know.
The crazy thing is 20 years, 20 trillion. So obviously we've gotten like a lot of videos per year.
Yeah, there was exponential growth though.
On YouTube, fittingly, on their 20th birthday, they found that there are roughly 20 million new videos uploaded every day.
20 million new videos.
That's
Careful,
another
Andrew.
crazy stat.
ChatGPT is notoriously not great at math.
Wait, this is really easy though. Sorry, it'd be $1 trillion if it's 20 trillion
Divided by
nickels
5.
because
Divided
you
by
did-
one-
If
divided
you
by
had a
20.
nickel,
I had to use ChatGPT.
Because a nickel is a 20th of a.
that is correct.
Yeah.
You'd have $1 trillion. But yeah, 20 million videos uploaded every day.
As we can't.
And YouTube users YouTube users average over 100 million comments every single day.
100 million?
100 million comments. And I'm sure there's a graph somewhere of like 99% of the videos have 0 comments and 1% of the videos have all the comments.
Yeah,
Thanks to the Waveform listeners for that.
that's crazy.
47 of those are useful comments a day.
Yeah.
That's where that number came from.
So you said 20 million a day?
20 million videos get uploaded a day.
How many comments per day?
And 100 million comments are posted on YouTube every day.
And 999 million of those were waveform comments.
You mean 99 million? Because there's 100 million total.
we broke the scale.
I'm sorry.
Math is hard. The last thing is they discovered that creators, you can heart a video, you can like a video, you can pin a comment, you can heart a comment. Creators hearted 10 million comments every single day.
Wow.
There's a lot.
That's
There's
crazy.
a lot of heart engagement going on.
You know what's an interesting thing about YouTube? The like feature. I don't like that the like feature automatically adds it to a like videos playlist.
Same.
Yeah, because sometimes I'm just like, I'm supporting my friend. Like I was looking through my liked videos on YouTube today, and mostly I just like videos that my friends upload just to give them a boost. But I don't actually like the videos that I like, which is actually stupid of me.
Do you have playlists? Have you made your own playlists?
No.
That's what I do. My liked playlist is just me trying to like support people that I
Yeah.
like, and then I make the disc golf workout, whatever
actual
documentary
playlists.
playlist, and then just save them to those instead.
Yeah,
Interesting.
bookmarks.
But if you use YouTube Music, I believe.
No
if
one
you-
does that.
Wow.
Well, if you like something, like a song, it also still saves on your liked playlist. Or even shorts. I've liked shorts and it saves in my liked videos.
Oh, that's annoying.
That's why
Very
that's
annoying.
a total throwaway playlist in my eyes.
Yeah.
And then it gives you an Amazon ad to buy them.
What?
The shorts.
Oh my
Bad
god.
With backwards pockets.
Where would we be without
Dude, I was running with the. Did I show you them?
That might have been the deepest inside joke
I'm
we've
sorry.
had in a
I'm
while. No,
sorry.
it's-
Yeah.
I would like to see them.
I will
later.
bring them in next week.
Okay.
Yeah, they're backwards.
I have a bizarro backwards twist. I want to do trivia.
Okay.
now?
It's
Right
not.
now?
It's not for your trivia. It's for
okay.
I have trivia for you guys.
Okay.
Just curious if you know the answers. Because
Okay.
obviously I know the YouTube trivia, but if you haven't already read the blog post, we'll see what you guys think.
Okay.
You remember when the first ever YouTube video hit 1 billion views?
Yeah.
You remember which one that is?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Which one is that?
It was Gangnam Style.
That's what I thought it was.
Correct.
Okay.
There are now how many videos in the billion view club
1 billion.
on YouTube?
Closest
Closest
delta,
delta.
Closest delta,
Yeah.
20.
No, I'm going with 100.
1,000.
20, 100, 1,000. 100 is the closest.
Okay.
There are 300 music
Really?
videos. 300 music
They're all
videos.
music videos?
I think there's a few more random like kids videos that are also
I would
in the
assume they're
billion view
all
club,
kids videos.
but 300 music videos. And the fastest, which took 88 days, was which one?
To 1 billion?
Justin Bieber.
Fastest to 1 billion.
It was that Justin Bieber song.
Despacito?
It's not kids
No, not
videos.
Despacito.
It's not Despacito.
It's not
not
Despacito.
Gangnam
It's
Style.
not Baby Shark.
It's not Baby Shark.
Baby by Justin Bieber, right?
It's not Baby. Baby was the first to 1 million dislikes or something else. It was one of the most disliked videos ever.
Until
Hell yeah.
Until
2019
YouTube.
rewinds. Yeah.
Joke's
I'll
on
give
you
you-
guys, though. It's still a view.
I'll give you some hints. I'll give you the countdown of the 4, 3, and 2.
Okay.
Okay.
4 is Rosé by Bruno Mars, 105 days.
I don't even know that song.
Oh, that song is a banger.
3 is Mi
It's a really
Gente
good song.
by Willie William and J Balvin, 103 Days.
That's a good one.
Then there's a tie at 2. Ed Sheeran, Shape of You, and Despacito tied at 97 days.
What?
And this one beat them all in just 88 days, getting 1 billion views.
Was it recent? Like I feel like in the past year,
No.
maybe? No?
It's not in the last year.
Is
No.
it old?
You all know the
Reviewing
song.
every iPhone.
So it's a song.
Yeah, it's a music video.
It's a song. Happy
Can you give us
birthday.
the genre?
It's pop. I will tell you,
Is it pop with a letter in front of it?
no.
K-pop.
My last hint is that the artist name kind of sounds like a tech company.
Bruno Mars.
Jay-Z.
I'm just assuming Pitbull's part of it somehow.
Pitbull. He's probably...
The part
Solo.
of it, not.
Solo
No,
video.
Tech company.
Man, this is a lot. This is hard.
Solo artist. Okay, give
Can you
us
play the
another
first
hint.
note?
She is the only one in the video.
Oh.
Ariana Grande.
No.
Can you play the first note?
It would give it away.
The first note?
100%.
I mean, we're not getting it. It seems like we're not getting it anyway.
Okay,
I
I'll
want to
play the
hear
first-
just the
play the
first
first
note.
note.
This is
Just the first
It
note.
will give it away right now.
This isn't like Friday, is it? No.
This is Adele. Hello. Oh, yeah.
That's the fastest to 1 billion views?
Yeah.
Really?
You know how I know that?
You didn't.
Sorry.
Did not know that.
You know how I know that that is true? After hearing that it is true?
Yeah.
How I can verify? My economics professor played the music video for us as we walked in, and he said, "This song is a banger, guys. I just had to let you know this."
Wow.
And that's the only teacher who has ever played a music video for me in class.
88 days.
That's
It now
crazy.
has 3 billion views.
Sheesh.
And you know what? There were like 100 of us in that class, so it actually has 3,100,000,000 views. But it only got 1 view from the economics professor.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You probably watched it a few times.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Wow, that's crazy.
So yeah, there's your random trivia.
Good trivia.
From Marques of the day. for
Wow.
YouTube.
Are we
gotta-
down to keep going semi off the rails here? Because I have a question.
Yeah.
based on this
We're
also.
already so far gone.
All
we
right,
might as
sure.
well.
Because it's the 20th year of
Yeah.
the first upload, I wanted everyone here to pick their favorite video on YouTube
I did.
and say it out loud here. It can be, funny, educational, anything, just one you really enjoy
Okay.
for whatever reason. Do you want to go first?
Yeah. Okay. So this is really, really hard, obviously.
It is super hard.
But one that really sticks out in my head pretty strongly is the Vsauce video that's called "Do Chairs Exist?"
I feel like we've
Classic.
vaguely talked about
I think
this
I've
before
mentioned
at
this
some
video
point,
before.
yeah.
I really like this video. I think it goes. I think it's like 40% too long. But
Right for Vsauce.
yeah,
1.5x speed fixes that.
Well, I actually recently hit 3.
Let's go.
3x.
Yeah.
New PR.
I can only do it on my phone, but I've been doing everything at 3 recently
Except
That's
for Hank videos
diabolical, dude.
because he already talks
Hank Green
fast.
already talks very fast.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
Can you watch Philip DeFranco videos?
I have not watched one since like 2015.
Yeah, you wouldn't survive long at 3x. 3x would just be like a fire hose of information.
Yeah, I will say so. In the spirit of this YouTube thing, I think that's one of my favorite videos. My most influential channel for me was a channel called Nerd Writer 1, which was like the original video essay guy on YouTube before they became
The OG.
before the category became popular.
Very nice.
Who
Do you
wants
want to go?
to-
You looked pretty excited this morning when you were thinking about.
I thought of 2. One of them, to me, is the Goofy Murder Trial comic video. But that's just a video that I laugh every time I watch it.
I had never seen it until I started working
I think
here.
I've watched it at least 10 times.
What about the
with Marques.
Evanescence Goofy cover?
I've watched
Pros
that.
D,
That's a
yeah.
good one too. But
Can't
I'll recommend another one that I think most people haven't seen, which is about 10 years ago, and I shared this on Twitter when it went up. There's a video that got recommended to me called Nobody Tells Us to Beginners. And it is a purely motion graphics video, which is basically just walking through an Ira Glass quote.
Yeah.
But it is about how when you're starting up as a creator of any kind, there's always a gap between your skill level and your taste and what you believe is good. And the more you work and close that gap, the better your taste gets, and you're always chasing that.
Yeah.
And nobody tells that to beginners, so you just, as a beginner, assume you will never reach the level of your taste. But if you zoom out enough, you actually have passed your previous best. Anyway, It's a minute and a half long. It's very inspiring. We'll link it below. I rewatch it probably at least once a year. It's a banger.
That's a good one.
That quote is great.
Yeah.
He did Ira Glass did an interview recently on that podcast that started from the ashes of Reply All.
Hyperfixed?
No, the other one.
Oh, the PJ Vogt version. He's done a couple. Is it on Search Engine?
Search Engine, yeah. He did a podcast called Is It Okay to Just Work All the Time? And it's basically just an interview with Ira Glass, but it is a very inspiring, very very interesting interview. I think you should listen to it.
I'm going to download that right now for my flight.
Do it.
What's it called?
It's called Is It Okay to Just Work All the Time? And the podcast is called Search Engine. Yeah.
Bet.
This Reddit post about it just says a podcaster interviewing another podcaster about making a podcast.
It's crazy how Reply All ended and birthed two awesome podcasts.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a neutron star.
Yeah. He has a really good Ira Glass has a
Sorry.
Nerd.
Ira Glass has a really good quote in that where he's like, why would I put out anything unless it was incredible? Mm-hmm. There's enough mid shit on the internet already.
Damn.
Hell
what a
yeah,
bar.
brother. Let's go.
What a bar.
Anyway.
Andrew, what's yours?
I'm kind of between two, but I'll only say one to not make this go on too long. There's this 25-minute documentary called Remain Seated, Please. And it's just a story about these two friends who loved this ride at Epcot Disney so much.
I remember that.
Called Horizon, which was like this old ride that showed you like what the future looked like. And then they started finding ways to like get out of the car and walk around the back of like the sets and like on the sets, and they just videotaped it with like an old VHS, and then they uploaded it like way later. And it's just like really fascinating about them just like being these like full grown adults just like walking around the set of this like futuristic ride, and they had to like duck behind so when the cars came by and like people were actually watching it. But they spent like years doing it. And it's just like it's this 25-minute documentary where you learn almost nothing but keeps you entertained the entire time, so you don't need to be like super
You can watch that 3x.
it'd be like 7 minutes long then, but I think it's one of my favorite videos on YouTube.
That's a good one. I'm going to play Ellis's next because he's out sick today, but he did send in a video.
What is up, pod people? As you know, I'm sick, but couldn't miss out on this opportunity to drop my favorite YouTube videos out there. A lot of my favorite videos are these really long sort of video essay things that require a lot of context to explain, like the Defunct Land Disney Channel theme video or the John Boyce, Dave Steve video.
That's a good one.
John Boyce videos
my
are
favorite YouTube video that I feel like needs no context is it's called Nightclub for Deer.
I do like that.
I hope you enjoy it.
You're good. You're good. Yeah, come on. All the deer, come on through. All the deer. All the deer at one time. Come on, all the deer. More deer. Give me more deer. Come on, more. Give me some more, even more deer. Come on, all the deer. Wait a minute.
Are deer just funny? Because two of the videos I thought of for this was the one where they're recording deer out her window and her husband sneezes and she's like, "Thanks, Ron." He's like, "What? I'm not allowed to sneeze." And then there's the other one where the guy's dog chases all the deer.
Fenton?
Yeah, the Fenton video.
It's a classic.
Have you ever seen
I'm not allowed to sneeze.
Fenton, no.
I'm going to need all of these links because I don't
You
know
ever
what
seen
you're
this?
talking about.
No.
Just in the background.
Where's his dog? It's a lot of deer.
Dude, that dog saw an opportunity and he took it, dude.
He's hurting them.
He was like, "This is what I was born to do, man. Gotta do it. Somebody gotta do it."
He's literally hoarding them like sheep.
I think this has to be. I changed my answer to the.
Jesus Christ. Fenton.
Oh, thanks,
Oh my
Ron.
God, sorry. I'm like actually.
Those are quality.
Those are quality.
Yeah. Shout out to YouTube, the purest
Adam
form of
didn't
social
go.
media.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Adam.
Do you have another one?
I'm crying. Holy crap. That was so funny. Yeah, I think mine is probably, do you guys know Tiny Desk, NPR Tiny Desk?
Yeah.
I've heard of it.
My favorite one is the Mac Miller one, because Mac Miller did a Tiny Desk before passing, and he played a couple of like my favorite songs, and it's just a beautiful performance overall. So a lot of times I'll just play that in the background while I'm like cleaning the house or doing things, and great performance. Highly recommend it. He's got Thundercat on bass. It's like, it's pretty epic. But yeah, that one's mine.
Hell yeah.
How far into the pod are we already? Because we haven't touched a single news story yet.
We're celebrating YouTube.
We are.
Yeah.
We are like 30-ish minutes in.
My God. Okay.
Okay.
Almost all of these are updates, so we can like...
We can speed run them after the break. How about that?
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's a long break, but let's do
After
it.
what break?
All right. We got to take a quick break. But before we do that,
Break already?
we do have more trivia.
Trivia.
Dude.
Boop, 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 boop.
Yeah.
Okay. So Ellis is out sick again, but I have an Ellis-style question because of it.
Oh, no.
These are all real Google services that I grabbed from the Google graveyard.
Oh, no.
Which one of these was an app that was used to find group activities with others who share your interests? A, Grasshopper. B, Streams. C, Polly. Or D, Shoelace.
Man, they just be taking whatever word they want. Whatever word they want.
Tebow.
Yep.
Tubu.
You want a hint?
Tuba.
Scubo.
It was 11 months old when they discontinued.
Wow.
Didn't even make
Didn't
it a
make
year.
it. Wow.
It's definitely not Polly. I know
At
that.
least let it get to the end of a year. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll think about that, and answers will be at the end like usual. We'll be right back. Support for Waveform comes from Indeed. Searching for a great new hire can seem like a daunting task. You want to hire someone who can do their assigned task, but you also don't want to hire someone who's a real drain on office morale. And a simple resume won't help you tell the difference. No. For this, you need something more powerful, something like Indeed's sponsored jobs. So with Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates so you can reach the people you want faster. And when you look at the numbers, they say it makes a big difference. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posts directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Their data also says that in the past minute alone, 23 hires were made on Indeed worldwide. There's no need to wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now at Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/waveform. So just go to Indeed.com/waveform right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/waveform. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, Indeed is all you need. Support for Waveform comes from Shopify. What's the secret to success with businesses like Death Wish Coffee or Allbirds? Is it a stellar product, a strong brand, or on-point marketing? Well, yeah, you definitely need those things, but you need something else too. Somebody to sell your stuff. Enter Shopify. At Waveform, we think a lot about what makes a product worth spending your hard-earned cash on, and once somebody decides that they like what you're selling, Shopify makes it easy for them to, buy it. So Shopify is home to the #1 checkout on the planet, and Shop Pay makes checking out a cinch, boosting conversions by up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more. So if you want to grow your business, your commerce platform better be able to meet your customers where they are, whether that's on the web, in your store, in their feed, or anywhere in between. Businesses that want to grow on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Death Wish Coffee uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/waveform, all lowercase. So go to shopify.com/waveform to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/waveform. All right, welcome back. We got a couple more updates to speed run through as we mentioned. First update, which is just kind of a random but funny headline, which is Apple was forced to drop the available now.
Not quite forced. Recommended.
They were recommended to, and they smartly complied.
Yeah.
The National Advertising Division recommended that Apple remove the available now claim from the Apple Intelligence website. I think that's fair.
Yeah,
I think that's super fair.
Half available now, but also most of it. It's a bunch of different things. Whatever. Apple defines Apple Intelligence however they want. Some of it is available now, some of it is not. And so they were recommended to modify or discontinue the claim.
They said they disagreed, but they
but they went.
Follow.
But
Yeah.
The only part of Apple Intelligence that I consider truly available now is Genmoji. And the writing modification thing just crashes my phone every time I even open it. So I just really, it's just bad for everybody.
Image Playground.
I forgot that it existed.
Yeah, that's about how
Taking
it's
up storage on my phone. I would like to forget about it.
Yeah. So that's all. Just kind of
Just
a funny
one more
random-
thing. Right before Dub Dub, we'll probably see Apple Intelligence
Yeah.
completely.
It's been over
announced
10
again.
months since they announced Apple Intelligence and like all the Siri updates and stuff.
Oh yeah.
They also
Announced, yeah.
shuffled the leadership that's handling Apple Intelligence very recently because they're just like, oh God.
It's like they brought in a bunch of the Vision Pro team, right? I think that's what
Yeah.
Mark Gurman said.
Yeah. Because regardless of your stance on the Vision Pro, at least it's a product that is out. In the world.
It does exist.
It does exist.
It is available now.
It is available now.
So
Yeah.
shout out to available
Maybe
now.
that's why they brought it in. But speaking of
Here we go.
things on the internet,
Nice.
Is it?
what?
You could do better.
Apple Intelligence
I
website.
could do better. Surprise Fediverse corner. You didn't expect that.
Hit us with the Fediverse updates, David.
Yeah, okay. So Bluesky has added verified check marks.
Wait, have they actually rolled it out?
Yeah.
I thought it was
Yeah, I
only
got
to
the
like verify.
pop up on
It's
it.
rolling out, yeah.
I thought it was only for certain like organizations.
Well, that's
We'll
how
still
it's
roll
working
that,
in
yeah.
I
general.
guess, yeah.
So they are so okay. If you remember how verified badges used to work on Twitter before verified badges across the internet just became pay for play, it used to be on Twitter that you could apply for verification. People at Twitter would decide, is it important that your account is verified so that people know that you are the real person that is posting from this account and someone is not just impersonating you? Which, when it changed to pay for play, was very funny because many brands got impersonated by people and caused markets to dip, and that was really funny. It was quite.
It was. I'm not disagreeing with you.
So now Bluesky, after a long period of time, has started rolling out their own form of verification, which looks practically exactly the same. They did say that they had gone through many, many iterations of different things like different colors and different shapes, but they landed on the blue check mark because it matches their brand identity. And they said they tested things like green, but that it looked horrible and did not really relate to the Bluesky brand like at all. So for a little backstory here, Bluesky wanted the actual form of verification that was going to work on Bluesky to just be domain name verification. And if you don't know, on Bluesky, there's a thing where if you own your own website, you can basically go into the DNS settings of your website and say, Bluesky, please use my website as my handle, which is the verifying portion of it. So then when people see your handle, they can see davidnoel.com and kbhd.com, and they know that you are the person that is posting because you own the website.
Right.
Clearly, that's not super scalable for, everybody on the internet because not a super high percentage of people even have their own website. Also,
No one has their own website.
well, technically you're leasing it from the IANA or whatever, but
Well, yeah, but I just mean like we're not the normal people that would have our own websites.
yeah, very few people have their own website.
My
Yeah.
mom does not have a website.
Right.
I think it's also in general just scrolling through the app harder to tell because
Yeah.
display name still is bigger and bolder and easier to see. So something near there versus the handle part of it
Right.
is more obvious.
Right. The handle is kind of there. So they decided, okay, we're officially going to roll this out. Now, the way that they are doing it is number one, Bluesky themselves, which is Bluesky, the company, which is not the same as Bluesky, the public benefit company, which makes the AT protocol, because Bluesky, the company, makes Bluesky, the app. I know it's confusing. They are basically verifying important people that they deem important so that they can make sure that they don't get spoofed, right?
I haven't been hit up yet. So
Yeah.
flaw
I
in the
was-
system.
I was just looking at my following page. The Onion has a verified check right now. The Verge has a verified check on my page right now.
Yeah.
There's a journalist I follow, a tech reporter from New York Times. She has a check.
Yeah.
I do not have a check. I don't think I've been impersonated yet. Though,
Are you
that I've seen.
MKBHD?
Yeah.
Can you prove it?
No.
Yeah. Well, so there's a couple of ways that they're going about this. One, Bluesky, the company, is just verifying people, but they're also rolling out something called trusted verifiers. And the idea of this is like, okay, if you're the New York Times and you have a lot of reporters, and generally when they start verifying people, this is the same thing they did on Twitter. They start with journalists and politicians because those are the two types of people that spread news the most, the fastest. Sure. Twitter was also very dominated by journalists and politicians before it even got big. So what this does is they basically give an organization like the New York Times the ability to verify people on their team. So they say, okay, we verify the New York Times verifies their journalists. That sort of allows them to verify people much quicker. And so that's what they're doing right now. They surprisingly got a lot of pushback on this. A lot of people on Bluesky were not too happy about this. Many people said it creates a caste system of popularity.
Of lords and peasants?
Of lords and peasants, which is what Elon said he wanted to get rid of when he made it pay for play.
Why can't we all just figure out the big problem on all social media is lords and peasants?
Yeah.
How will we solve it?
Yeah. So, okay, I talked to Bluesky a little bit last night about this because I was like interested in how this worked. Technically, the verification system is on protocol. It is on the AT protocol. So that means that if you start up another Bluesky-like application that uses the AT protocol, you can choose whether or not you want to show the verification, on your app or not.
Cool.
So part of the differentiating factor of an app that uses the AT protocol could be that they don't want to show verified badges. If people really are that against it, they can just use something else.
It is cool that it's like built into the protocol.
Yeah. It was interesting, like Twitter used to have, they haven't said whether or not people with verified badges get like boosted algorithm reach. I don't think they do.
I would hope so. One of the main complaints I'm seeing here, and just to start, is like, please don't only put like verified stuff at the top of replies.
Yeah.
Because then it feels like really only catered
for sure. Like Twitter, I got really lucky in 2013 because someone randomly impersonated me and I put in like a complaint that was like this person's impersonating me, and then Twitter verified me. And in like 2013, that was like a big deal. So everything I ever posted had like much bigger reach because that was the case when you were verified on Twitter way back then. But that's not the case here, I don't think. So I don't know. I don't really see it as that big of a deal. But people don't want there to be a caste system, I guess.
Yeah, I think it makes sense on any social network where people are spreading information / news and representing themselves to have some sort of verification system.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are literally reacting to the fact that it looks so much like the Twitter one that they hate.
It looks exactly like it.
Which is a blue check mark. I get it. But yeah, I think it's important to have this system, and the fact that it's built into the protocol is a good thing. So
yeah,
I think it's a win.
I feel like the blue check mark has just outgrown Twitter. Like now it's also on Meta.
True.
It's like hashtag.
Everywhere.
The hashtag started on Twitter, but now it's everywhere,
And the problem is that it doesn't mean anything anymore because even Meta, it's just you pay for it and that's it. On Twitter and Meta, you pay for it. And that's
YouTube has it also.
Yeah,
but you don't pay for that.
No, you don't pay for that. I'm still confused with the music badges, though. I feel like I see people with music badges so much more in comments lately.
I see that a lot too.
And I don't know what
I think it just means you're like a verified artist on YouTube.
That uploads to YouTube Music.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah. I think it's fine.
I think it's fine. I think it's don't make it pay to win.
Yeah. The one thing right now is like you can't request to be verified, and they are just kind of going through the people that they think are worth verifying. So I think it's pretty much, at least in this initial wave, just going to be politicians and journalists because they're verifying all the publications, and the publications verify their journalists.
Hank Green's verified.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
he's Hank Green though.
He's like one of the biggest accounts on Bluesky, so that would make sense.
Yeah.
In other news,
we
have the official pre-order date for the Nintendo Switch 2
Nintendo Switch
in the
2.
US.
Oh boy.
And if you're listening to this on Friday,
it already passed.
You probably didn't get a Nintendo Switch 2 if this is news to you because it is Thursday the 24th.
Yeah.
Big thing about this, pricing $449. There are some price increases on a bunch of different accessories ranging from $5 to $10. I think Joy-Cons and Pro controllers are both $5 more expensive. Some of the cameras were more expensive. So yeah, your little bundle you buy when you buy one is going to be pretty pricey.
Yeah, but they didn't raise the price of the console, which is good.
I also read that most GameStops are claiming they're expecting around 100 consoles, which is
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That really feels like a lot. I think I read somewhere on Twitter that 8 years ago they were getting between like 5 and 30 consoles a store. There's also half as many GameStops as there used to be, so that could be part of
Your
the
local
reason.
GameStop may have a line.
It might, it's like 11 a.m. in store,
Yeah.
and then but still like Walmart, Target are all doing some sort of pre-orders on the 24th.
Yeah. So it's midnight ET on the 24th in the United States.
Was it? I thought.
Yeah, midnight ET.
Okay.
GameStop is different.
Okay.
But the other
ET
ones.
phone.
So tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it's tonight at midnight, which is kind of crazy. And speaking of GameStop, they actually do have some pretty sick trade-in deals. You can get $125 for an original Switch, which, considering they originally only costed $300, and that was 8 years ago, is a pretty good trade-in, I would say.
I think it's awesome because we're all complaining about the price. If you trade one in, you're getting it for about the same price as this.
It's the Switch One.
$325 instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
If it's good. You do need to bring in the original HDMI cord, it said, which I thought was
That's
very
crazy.
funny and might
Yeah.
mess a lot of people up.
Which I don't know if I have.
That is hilarious. Wait, so you need the original HDMI?
I don't know. It
cables
just
to get
listed the stuff
trade-in?
because it needs like the console, the dock, the power cord, which also could be a USB-C cord.
Yeah.
If you lost
There's
the original
no
one.
way anyone
Joy-Cons.
has the original HDMI cable.
I think I do.
I mean, some people probably just
I'm almost
plugged it in
positive.
once and never unplugged it, so they probably still have it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess if that's the one you're using, then maybe that's the cable.
I have a way longer cable. It's like 15 feet
Yeah,
long.
like I had a cable already, so I don't know what I did with that cable.
Yeah. You can also get $175 for Switch OLED trade-ins. I have an OLED, but I'm probably not going to trade it. You can get $100 for Switch Lite trade-ins. So
I was just going to ask, are you guys going to pre-order?
I literally go back and forth every single day, dude. I'm like,
Minute by
I don't
minute.
know.
I bet at some point tomorrow I will look at one of the pre-orders, and if it's available,
You'll
I'll have a very hard time not doing it,
Yeah.
mostly because FOMO right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat where I'm not gonna try really hard to pre-order, but if I happen to stumble on one that's available,
Yeah.
If you happen to go to bestbuy.com or the GameStop. And
That's what happened to me when I bought my Switch OLED, because they were literally impossible to find for like weeks. And I randomly went on bestbuy.com and I was like, one available near you. And I was like, huh. So I put it in my cart for pickup and I showed up to Best Buy and the guy's like, oh my God, how did you get this? Like when he was like checking me out, he's like, how did you manage to, did you use like an app to the, and I was like,
are you a botter?
It was just on the internet, my guy. It was just there.
yeah.
Another interesting note is that Nintendo had to issue a supply constraint warning in Japan because it got 2.2 million applications for pre-orders for the Switch 2. For reference, it sold 360,000 in Japan in the first month when the Switch 1 came out. Wow. So this is about 6 times that demand, which is absolutely insane. And it basically said that a significant number of people will not get it on June 5th.
Yeah.
So,
This is so they just kind of, you just fill out a form. This isn't people who like put down $5 or anything.
This is the
just
like
a form.
no. This is like registering interest through the My Nintendo store to pre-order.
Oh, well, that's something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Andrew, I had a question for you about this that you might know more than me about.
Doubt it, but let's go.
My question is, like, immediately after the announcement video, you were able to sign up for pre-ordering it through the My Nintendo store thing,
Yeah.
but it was sign up for interest. And then there was that whole thing where like you could, if you had 50 hours of playtime and you had 1 year of Nintendo Switch Online, you would be able to pre-order.
Yeah, I thought there was like a sign up for the pre-order. Like it almost
Yeah.
feels like the like Capital One early ticket thing.
Well, what
before
was- Yeah, what was going to happen was that you were going to be able to, those people were going to be able to pre-order a day before everybody else on My Nintendo store. And then they stopped pre-orders in the US altogether and pushed them to tomorrow. So my question is that whole thing just
That's
gone?
the last I heard of it. I haven't seen anything about that. I'm not like, refreshing every day, but I have not heard anything about that.
Because I
since
haven't
then.
gotten anything in my email that's like pre-ordered.
No, I didn't see anything on the Switch subreddit. I very well could have missed it. I like every couple of days go on there and just kind of skim through everything to see what's going on. But
Yeah.
I don't know if they ever got to do anything with that because of all the delays.
Interesting. And then you had one more thing here.
We have a couple more.
Well, you've
that's if you're interested in trading in, I was just reading that I thought was interesting. If you have like the OG Switch 1, apparently they're super popular in the modding community because they're like the only one you can mod.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I saw people on there selling them for like a few $100. So if you need a different way to make some money for Switch 2, that could be a way.
I think like the modding thing only works if you hadn't updated the software past a certain amount.
Could be. I'm not totally sure. I just thought it was.
What if I just used the money to short GameStop instead?
Guaranteed.
This is not financial advice. If you couldn't tell.
All right.
But speaking of financial advice, Google could probably use some. I don't know. It's terrible.
I'm available, Google.
We got an antitrust update in the U.S. versus Google case.
And what is that?
So we all know that the judge found Google to be a monopoly.
Yep.
And they're in the process of figuring out how the U.S. government's going to fix it. So the judge during this trial said they're asking for 3 different things. One is to prevent Google from striking deals for prime search engine placement. Referenced how Google pays Apple $20 billion annually.
Amazon has their own search engine?
I missed it.
No, you just said prime search engine placement.
Oh, you very much confused me. I was like, wait, what?
I missed it.
Thought maybe.
But yeah, we've talked about how much Google pays Apple to be that. They want Google to divest Chrome. The judge said it's the starting point of 35% of all user queries and has over 4 billion users.
Yeah.
And then they also would like to require Google to license its search data to competitors that would want it. So obviously they still make money through the licensing fee, but obviously Google wants that information for themselves. Monetarily, it's more important to them because they get to do things other people don't get to do, even though they could make a ton of money off of it.
Yeah.
So Google's pushing back to almost everything they said above. However, they did kind of agree with parts of the striking deals and not being like a exclusive default search engine, but the DOJ is like, cool, you can kind of agree with us on that, but you already have created such a like impossible lead through these like monopolistic tactics that like I think we need to do this a little more to make up for an insurmountable place that you're in right now.
This is the interesting part to me, which is always like, okay, Google's established this lead, and whatever you think about how they got the lead or whatever, now they are like the search engine that people choose. And Google still continues to pay Apple $20 billion a year to be the default search engine in Safari. What if they didn't? What would Apple do?
I think the concern is that Apple would just turn on their own search engine that they've had ready for a very long time.
I think that's a possibility, but I don't know that. Like, does Google really think that that's what's going to happen? I just don't know that people would.
Well, Google.
Like, would iPhone users be cool with? Oh, I just like typed in the search box to Google something, and it's just this other search engine came up for some reason.
I don't think they'd care.
Really?
I really don't.
I think there would be a lot of memes if it was Bing tomorrow. Like, how many people would just be like, why? I guess Bing, to be fair, looks a lot like Google. And
I think Bing has a lot of negative connotations for everybody at this point. So I kind of feel like maybe they'd change it from that.
I think the biggest thing is if we're talking just like average person who has a phone, how many of them would know how to change the default search engine? They might literally be stuck in whatever that, and that's hundreds of millions of people.
And I just don't think a lot of people care.
I don't know, because a lot of people still buy Microsoft computers and they open up Edge to download Chrome.
Like, there's also a lot of people who have Microsoft computers and just use Edge because it's there and Bing is the default and they have no idea.
But Chrome is the most popular browser.
Yeah,
it is.
It's not the default on any computer other than Chromebooks,
where it is the
so
OS.
People do like seek out Chrome and seek out Google.
That is true.
So I just feel like if Google stopped paying Apple tomorrow, obviously Apple could spin up a search engine and would have to announce it and explain it at some point, and they could launch it and do a whole thing. But I just wonder, like, would people?
Well,
it would. I think it would. My point is, I think it would continue to be Google for quite a while.
Sure, but I think it's also the fact that Google's paying them $20 billion a year proves how important that defaultness is.
Well, it's more
Google's
so like
an ads business.
Yeah,
so
like, why would they want to not pay $20 billion to find out? You know, like I'd rather just pay 20 billion.
That's how important it is.
Yeah.
They're
And how much
tossing
has that-
20 billion a year.
How much has that 20 billion been negotiated where it was like, give us 100 billion, and Google's like, no, we'll give you 20 billion.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Fine.
There's also, I think it's more important for them to show more revenue than it is for them to show more profits necessarily. And if they're getting more and more revenue because more and more people are using Google search, if that dropped by even 20%, all of a sudden, like, Google searches dropped by 20% looks terrible in their stock tanks.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of
How much would it
nuanced
drop?
stuff.
That's the question.
I think by a lot, honestly. My mom would not go to google.com on her phone.
But if they open up search on the iPhone after Google stops paying, what does Apple do? Do they just leave it at Google?
Who knows?
I think they just leave
default
it
it to
at Google.
something with like the options of
Well-
doing it in the settings, which most people never find.
or they take money from someone else. I don't know.
Yeah,
I do think that Apple has an incentive to keep it on Google because Google is still the best experience right now.
Yeah, by far.
compared to Bing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like they clearly are willing to do something else though because they're getting paid to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Makes
bet
me
Apple
curious
has
what
like
they would actually do.
a fully fledged, really good product that is just ready to go. That's got to be.
That they just don't think would make more than $20 billion. And then therefore,
and they
let's
don't
just
want to
take the money
get
from Google
into the complexities of running an ads business.
with privacy way more at
Right.
the forefront in their
Because
eyes.
that's what a search engine is. It's an ads business.
So we think Apple has the ability to launch a full-fledged search product tomorrow,
Yes.
but doesn't do it now because taking 20 billion from Google and just keeping it at Google is fine.
I think that to them, that's less complicated than like getting into the advertising business. And they could do it and they could probably make a lot of money, but like you said, like the security stuff and the data privacy.
I feel like if the government just told Apple you can no longer have Google be the default, they would just make like a super private browser.
I don't think it would be-
We're not dealing with this at all.
I don't think they would tell them Google can't be the default. It would be Google can't pay you to be the exclusive.
Well, either
default
way, I just mean
anymore.
like Apple, I don't think would want to be bothered with any of this.
Well, also think about the antitrust potential of Apple having their own browser that is the default. Because they would definitely come after Apple and be like, you can't do that.
Well, not if they're not doing
Well-
any kind of like advertising monopolistic things.
Yeah, right
Because
now,
they
Android-
wouldn't do an advertising business.
Yeah, Android phones, Chrome is the default, Google's the default search engine.
Yeah.
And that obviously is a big point of contention with Chrome. But let's say Safari is the default and Apple Search is the default search engine. And they're not the biggest search provider, so they can't really have a monopoly argument yet. Is that fine for now, I guess? It seems like that'd be fine. I don't know. It seems hard to believe that Apple could launch a new business today that is that massive. That
Well, I think it
threatens their biggest competitor, but doesn't do it.
Well, the U.S. broke up Microsoft because they were monopolizing search engines with Internet Explorer.
I could totally see Tim Cook getting on stage and being like, never explaining the Google Chrome thing, but just being like, we have this new browser,
see
super
that.
private, on your phone, doesn't go anywhere, and they're just
It could
like,
be
we're
the
just
same
not going to
browser.
deal with this.
Just search engine.
It could be the same
Or search
browser, but
engine,
just
yeah.
like the search engine. We've built a search engine.
Yeah,
Or
just
like,
to like get around all this.
it could be under, I almost picture it being under Apple Intelligence of being we've got Siri.
Siri search?
So if you want to search for stuff, there's Siri search.
Yeah.
And it's super private and no one can sell you ads based on what you search, et cetera, et cetera. Wouldn't want any of those guys collecting data on you, would you?
Exactly.
Use Safari.
True.
Well, the rest of this is pretty much about data. So Satya Nadella testified during this. I don't know why I think that's so funny that he's like, the only way to build a great search engine is with unobtainable amounts of search data, and Google's made sure no one else has that besides themselves, which no shit. The CEO of Microsoft is like, yes, please let me buy that data.
Yeah.
And then what's also funny is kind of related to Microsoft is
I hate it.
during the trial, the head of product from OpenAI mentioned that they would be interested in purchasing Chrome if it were to go on sale. Which now is very funny because is their boss not in the room with them who makes
Yeah, Satya.
Bing?
Satya's like, you'd what?
Yeah.
You would what?
So
Be
I
a
don't know.
shame if something happened to our investment.
I just thought that was so funny. And also, please, God, no, OpenAI,
Yeah.
don't buy Chrome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Speaking of antitrust suits,
Another one.
Let's keep the good
Another
times
one.
going.
DJ Khaled.
Apple and Meta just got hit with really big DMA antitrust fines. If you remember, the European Union basically went after Apple and Meta and were basically like, you cannot do these things. The big thing for Apple was third-party app stores was a major thing, where Apple eventually complied, but they did so in the most malicious compliance way possible, to the point where it basically penalized you a ton if you were willing to put your app on a third-party app store in the European Union, and made it like worse for most people. So the EU is not happy about that malicious compliance, and they fined Apple $570 million for violating the DMA, which is crazy. And it says that it has 60 days to basically remedy this. So that's not too good for Apple. We'll see what happens there. They're probably going to have to get rid of all of that jargon and just fully open it up without any consequences. It'll be interesting to see if Apple actually complies with that. The EU is actually also not happy with Meta for a very similar reason. It was charging Facebook and Instagram users to either pay a subscription fee to like get rid of all of the ads that were being shown there, or they could use their personal data to kind of like have ad-supported versions on the platform. And Meta's solution was in the EU, was to allow free users to see fewer unskippable full-screen ads. But the EU is not too happy about that either. So both of them got hit with huge fines. Apple's fine was $570 million. Meta's fine was about half that, but they could basically continue to get fined fairly regularly unless they fix these issues within 60 days.
It's crazy to think 570 million is a gigantic fine, yet we just talked about them paying about 30 times that a year to Google.
20 billion to
Yeah, it doesn't
Google.
feel like such a big fine. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, most of these companies will take the fines if it means they're making more money by doing the thing they're not supposed to do. That's just generally how it works, because the fines are just not big enough to actually be real deterrents. This seems quite a bit bigger, $570 million that they have to pay right now. They're going to appeal it, obviously, but that seems like a bigger deterrence than they usually get hit with. So we'll see how that plays out.
This is like when you see like a Ferrari parked in like a do not park thing, and it just has like 4 tickets on a dash. Like,
And
they
they're
don't
like,
care.
I don't care. It's more convenient for me to be parked
Exactly.
illegally.
Yeah, wow.
And then last little thing about companies giving large sums of money to other companies. It came out that Google pays an enormous amount of money to Samsung to have Gemini pre-installed on its phones.
This does not shock me at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
They seem to be very close partners in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at the Pixel event, they literally showed Gemini
Samsung phone.
on the Galaxy S24 Ultra.
At Google I/O, they regularly demo exclusive features.
Maybe it was
on,
I/O.
on
Samsung
phones.
Yeah.
They'll
Like,
probably do it again this year.
we knew that they had a very close partnership, but it seems like it's been getting closer and closer. And now we have actual evidence that they've been paying them a lot of money. So apparently Google has been paying Samsung an enormous amount of money since January monthly to have Gemini pre-installed on Samsung's phones. So that would probably be around the announcement of the S25 series. It also gives Samsung a percentage of revenue earned from advertisers in the Gemini app. I have never seen an ad in the Gemini app.
Me neither.
So
Not
I'm
yet.
not really sure what that means. Yeah,
use a lot.
it could be a future thing. It could be a future thing. But the judge actually ruled that this violates antitrust law and is hearing testimony to figure out what Google will have to do to remedy the behavior. So Google's not in the best situation
This
right
coming
now.
out in the middle of this antitrust thing happening feels like the start of the search engine.
Yeah,
They're just doing it with AI instead.
Yeah.
You know what I just thought of?
What?
OpenAI has been working on this search product. Maybe if Google
Careful,
wasn't
Marques.
paying,
Careful.
Maybe if
No,
Google
if
buys,
Google wasn't paying Samsung, Samsung would just like switch it to OpenAI's product.
this says they had offers from OpenAI and Microsoft as well.
Yeah, so maybe in a world today where Google stops paying Apple to be the default search engine in Safari, OpenAI is like, yeah, I want that deal. I want to be the search.
Well, you know what's funny is like Safari kind of got dumber when they added, not Safari, Siri kind of got dumber when they added the OpenAI integration. ChatGPT integration. There's been like multiple cases that people post online of like, hey Siri, what day of the week is it? And it'll be like, do you want me to ask ChatGPT for that?
Yeah,
it's literally the Bixby April Fool's video we did where it's like, it can't answer it. I'm literally going to ask someone else.
Yeah.
We were ahead of our time with that joke.
We were.
Yeah. So.
Sorry. I just want to say, my ChatGPT experience lately, it's few and far between, and it has been miserable every time.
Really?
Every time it's like, hey, can you do this thing? And I'll do it. And then I'll be like, can you do one more? That's against our policy. Why is it against your policy? For this reason. Cool. Do it without that reason. That is against our policy. Perfect example. I was like trying to explain to Tim a thumbnail I wanted to make. And it was just this idea of typing on a keyboard and the keys are flying all over the place.
Okay.
So it did a pretty good job at creating that. And then I said, can you make this look like a YouTube thumbnail? And it throws the YouTube logo on and some text that looked terrible. I said, can you please take that off and change the text to this? And then first it says, you've run out of requests for today because I don't have Pro. Please come back in 24 hours. That was Friday. I come back Monday. I ask it to remove it. It says, you've run out of requests. And it's had to do that 3 times. I said, that was 3 days ago. I'm past the time limit. It said, you're right. And then it said, let me try to do that, generating image. And it said, this is against our policy. So I said, why? And it said there was a logo involved in it and they can't do anything with logos. So I said, you put the logo in. In fact, I'm asking you to take it out. It said, whoa, you're right. I did put that in and you are just asking to take it out. What should I, let me get on with that. And then it says generate an image. It says that is against our policy. And then I just gave up. I'm like not doing this anymore. So that was my last ChatGPT experience.
Wow.
It's terrible.
That sounds horrible.
If only you had a Samsung phone that you could just
ask. If only I had Image Playground.
Yeah. Oh, God. Then you can make a cartoon.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we will take another quick break. We do have, of course, our trademarked. Have we trademarked it?
No. I mean, just kidding.
Just
don't look.
Our patent pending final segment, last of the month, called Crown or Clown.
And Clown.
Crown and Clown. So we're going to get to that after the break. But of course, we should do one more round of trivia.
Okay, trivia. Question 2. Twitter announced a public verification system in what year? Asterisk, it was discontinued that same year because they received too many requests.
Public.
Oh.
But when did they launch it? The public one.
Oh, like how you can request it publicly?
Just being able to request or like,
Is that where there's like a verified account and you had to like, what happened? Like,
I think it was in the
they got too many people requesting.
Yeah, it was like
and
a
they
form,
were like,
I
we don't
believe.
have that many employees.
In the settings, there was like a form you could fill out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
I was verified after it shut down somehow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
broke the
because there was still this person's impersonating me form, and I filled that out, and they were like, "Oh, we're just going to verify it."
I got verified like
again.
2 weeks before they made it paid, and I was like, "Well, there goes that."
Oh, really?
And then everyone was like, look at this loser.
Check.
That's funny.
sucks.
And then you had to pay to put it.
Oh no, I did not pay. They just removed
No,
it.
yeah. All right.
All right, well, we'll think about it. Answers at the end. We'll be right back. Support for the show today comes from Notion. Organization is one of the first steps to creating quality work, and there's no shortage of helpful AI tools to help you streamline your workflow, but using them might mean switching back and forth between other digital tools. So instead of simplifying your workflow, it actually ends up becoming more complicated. Unless, of course, you're using Notion. Notion combines notes, docs, and projects into one space that's simple and beautifully designed, and you can do all of that while taking advantage of their in-house AI-powered tool, Notion AI. Notion AI is fully integrated, it's all built in, and it helps you work faster, write better, and think bigger, doing tasks that normally take hours in seconds. We here at Waveform have used Notion, and we have to say, well, if you think Waveform is a bit hectic now, without Notion, it would just be a blabbering mess. So we always say Waveform is the most consistent channel at the MKBHD studio, and that wouldn't be possible without the organization that we do in Notion. We keep track of our scripts, ad reads, thumbnails, title discussions, posting times, and then while all that's happening, we're also posting 3 clips a week. All of that is organized in Notion. So you can save time and write faster by letting Notion AI handle the first draft, jumpstarting a brainstorm session, or turning your messy notes into something more polished. Plus, you can even automate tedious tasks like summarizing meeting notes or finding next steps. So try Notion for free when you go to notion.com/wave. That's all lowercase letters, notion.com/wave to try the powerful, easy-to-use Notion AI today. And when you use our link, you're supporting our show. So that's notion.com/wave. Support for the show comes from Shopify. When we started this podcast, some days it really seemed like we were swimming upstream. It has grown so much into the operation that it is today. We started with very little experience, and then we learned how to edit audio and then the process of publishing, and we did a bunch of interviews without much experience, but we got more and more experience doing this and added team members and improved efficiencies, and that's how we got to where we are today. And if you're running a small business, then you probably face a lot of the same challenges that we faced. And if you're looking for a partner to help your business grow, Shopify is your answer. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US, according to their data. Shopify has built-in tools to help you with social media and email campaigns and boasts a 99.99% conversion rate from browsers to buyers, both online and in-store. And the best part, you can tackle all the important tasks in one place, from inventory to payments to analytics and more. Shopify even has global selling tools to support sales in more than 150 countries. So simply put, Shopify is a smart choice that can help a monumental impact on your business. Turn your big business idea into with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/waveform. Go to shopify.com/waveform. That's shopify.com/waveform.
Welcome back. We are doing Crown and Clown, and I think I'll go first because I have the 2 most boring ones.
Can we remind the I was going to say the users, the
listeners,
the
I guess I will.
What the game is.
At the end of every month, we do a crown, which is something we thought was the best thing that happened this month, and a clown, which is something we thought was the dumbest thing that happened this month. We try really hard to keep it within the month. We'll see how we go. We need to be a little more streamlined of this, and we're working on it, which probably means we won't be. But
nice.
1 hour later,
I will pitch. I think the crown of April is the Nintendo Switch 2.
That's what I was going to say.
It's really hard not to say it. As much as people gave it crap for pricing, and there's been some delays, I still really think they delivered on the majority of the things.
Yeah. My argument is,
and it's the thing I'm the most excited about.
Have they? Because it's not even out yet. What if it's just a break?
I mean, we will see.
Announced.
Yeah,
it's always been for June. It actually hasn't been delayed on delivering yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
No, I know. But I mean, like, what if we get it and it sucks?
Well,
okay. They could still screw up because they said they fixed the stick drift, but it's not Hall effect. So I don't know if I fully believe them on that. But a lot of the other things were good, minus pricing and some of the game card keys, but also and I didn't know this, apparently a lot of Xbox and PlayStation games have been doing this for a long time without the physical key. It's just a download code inside the box. So this is a better version of that. I totally agree, because you can sell them and trade them and whatever later. So I think they did a good job.
Digital Foundry did a very in-depth thing about the Switch 2 that they put out 2 days ago, and I would recommend going to look at that. They have a bunch of videos and also write-ups about it.
That is a long article.
It's super in-depth, and they have videos for every portion of it.
Is it generally...
It's generally
positive?
Quite positive.
Okay.
Yeah, they're saying the performance is way better than they expected, and so
interesting.
It's generally very positive.
All right, David, what's your crown?
Well, it was supposed to be Switch 2.
I mean, it still can be Switch 2 because we have to agree anyway.
Yeah, we have to agree. So you could just double up if you want.
I'm not saying it's good because I don't know, because I've never even touched it.
That's what I'm saying.
But I do think
only one person in this room has touched it.
I've touched it.
Thanks for clarifying.
What other positive things have happened this month?
Nothing. Literally nothing.
I have something.
Yeah, Mark, what's yours?
Okay, well, I have 2. One of them is not really a thing. One of them was a Volvo EX90, which we reviewed this month, but it didn't come out this month, so it's probably not going to win.
Okay.
But I did find something else. Nice car. In the month of April, scientists at Zhejiang University and the University of Cambridge built much, much smaller individual pixels on an LED display. record-breaking amount, actually. They achieved the smallest pixels ever at 90 nanometers wide.
You would know about this.
And it's hard to explain how small 90 nanometers is, but they've been working on this over and over again and shrinking down and down the pixels over and over. But this 90 nanometer wide pixel achieved a pixel density of 127,000 pixels per inch, which is pretty sick.
Virus size.
Obviously,
pixels.
pixels. It makes oil paintings look pixelated, is how they described it. Wow. Now, obviously, there's a lot of challenges that come from having pixels that small, from
running it,
drivers,
driving
to
it,
brightness, to whatever, all these other things. But I just want to emphasize how small those individual pixels are. If a human hair was a skyscraper, a 90 nanometer object would be a single floor tile.
Wait,
floor tile, not floor?
Like thickness?
A floor tile, yeah.
But like, is the floor tile standing up, or
human
is it
hair, sideways, skyscraper?
What length of human hair?
It's
That's
the
a great
width
question.
of the
The
human
width
hair.
of a human hair.
The width of a human hair is a skyscraper.
Holy crap.
Another way of looking at it, if a red blood cell were a soccer ball, a single pixel would be a grain of sand.
That one seems not as crazy.
Yeah. But a red blood
I don't
cell,
know.
you have to know how small a red blood
Right,
cell
because
is.
I see blood, but I don't know how big this.
Red blood cells are pretty
individual
small
cells
compared
small.
to a single hair.
Thanks. A pool, yeah, I don't know.
So anyway, yeah, 127,000 pixel per inch display is my crown of the month.
Hold on.
That is
I
really
just want to
cool.
say, you guys said it can't be the Switch 2 because I haven't seen it yet, and then you bring out this like science breaking
That's never been
lab
a rule.
only.
You can see it.
No, I'm saying you guys said it to me.
No. I don't think I don't think the rule has to be you have to have seen it, because we've had previous crowns that are things we haven't seen.
I agree.
Yeah.
I never said you had to have seen it. I said it had to be out.
This is in
That's
a
out.
lab.
Yeah, it's in a lab.
out.
Yeah, it exists.
One of them exists. Just
Okay.
one.
I see
right.
your point, Andrew, and I'm choosing to ignore it.
Somehow, someone can get us access to making a video on that, though.
That would be
Just
sick.
saying.
How
I'm
would you
pretty
film
sure we
that?
would do that.
Microscopes.
Yeah, electron
Dang,
microscopes.
that'd be
I'll
cool.
drop a link in the Slack so you guys can
probe
look at this
lens?
thing, because it's pretty.
That's how those work.
The
right?
ultimate probe lens.
Speaking of Slack, I'm going to tell you what Ellis's crown is for the
Okay.
month. He discovered that there are now HDR emojis in Slack.
This is not a crown, my friend.
He thinks it's a crown.
It is not.
HDR emojis.
It looks horrible.
If you're scrolling through on Slack, you'll see a regular emoji, and then you'll see a very bright spot on your screen, which is the other one.
it
Wait,
looks
how do you
broken.
Wait,
Can
I'm
you
gonna,
post it?
Yeah, I'm going to put it in
Yeah,
Slack.
can you
Hold on
please
one
post
second.
it? I need
It's
to
in the
see this.
waveform.
It
Slack.
just looks broken.
Jesus.
It's like
I'm in light mode.
glowing on yours.
Yeah.
I think it's because I'm in dark mode on Slack.
Yeah.
You're scrolling and just.
I feel like
beams
I'm
you.
blinking and seeing it in my.
It's definitely
vision.
an SDR on my computer, which I'm happy about.
Wow.
Yeah, so that
Is Ellis saying that
Ellis's.
he likes scrolling through
He's saying that
Instagram
he
under
loves
his
Wait, no.
blanket and just getting blinded randomly in the middle of the
Is
night?
this his crown?
This is his crown.
That's
not
what I
clown?
said.
Not
That's what
his
I
clown.
said.
What?
He thinks this is
know.
awesome.
Okay, well, I don't. I think this should be eligible for the clown. Does he have a clown separately?
His clown is
It's gonna be something amazing.
It's basically Apple getting dinged for the removing the Apple Intelligence Coming Soon part.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's a clown.
It's hard to.
He
clown
said
on-
that's his clown.
That's a good thing.
It's
Well, that
funny,
they had
but-
it up in
Oh,
the first place.
Okay,
Yeah, fair.
Interesting.
I asked Gemini what are the best things that happen in consumer technology in April 2025, and it said the Apple M4 chip launched,
And
which is not. It did not launch this month.
The Bard upgrade.
BART upgrade.
That might be April of like
Gemini?
3 years ago.
Gemini literally called itself its old. You're asking Gemini, which is what Bard was. And it said,
Yeah.
the Bard AI platform received an update integrating the more advanced Gemini 2.0 model.
AI travel planning. Wow, this is horrible. None of these are true. Sick.
So
I love AI.
at this point for crown, we're reduced to the Switch 2,
Or the
the
groundbreaking new
127,000 pixel per inch display, or the HDR emoji
technology. Imagine the HDR emoji on
on that display. Whew, crisp. Crisp.
cooked. Eyes cooked.
Eyes cooked.
Vectors, I'd say. All
What
kinds
about the
of
Beats
vectors.
cables?
That was one of those mid things that happened that we forgot about within 30 seconds of it happening.
But I thought you said it was the biggest story of the year.
oh, I did say that, didn't I? I was lying.
Damn.
Elephant in the
I thought you were serious.
I mean, it's hard to vote against. I feel like every time I just give up on my answer, but
how about
it is a pretty cool screen. I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah.
All those pictures look like they were green pixels only. Can the pixels
.net.
change colors?
Don't worry about it.
If it's green only,
What do you
I
mean
don't,
green only?
I don't know.
Were they green?
How about
Article up?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah,
David
yeah.
was looking at something else.
what about Sam Altman potentially
Nope.
buying his
Clown.
own company?
Clown?
You already said yours. Yours is the Switch.
Yeah,
2.
it's a Switch too.
Okay.
I think it's the Switch too.
Come on.
It's probably
It's like the
too.
biggest.
It's the Switch
It's
too.
the most talked about thing this month.
Which
Okay.
doesn't necessarily mean it's
That
the
isn't
best.
negative.
Yeah.
There was
Okay.
a lot of negative stuff about it, but I think some of it was blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
And some of it's totally reasonable criticism.
All right, I'll fold. I'll go switch to.
Let's go.
All
Let's
right.
go.
What
One
is the
point for Andrew.
what is the clown then?
The clown.
Tariffs.
Reciprocal tariffs. They came out the same day, actually.
Very
The clown
subtle.
and the
They
clown
call them
came out the same
Damn,
day.
that's a good point.
I was gonna go Blue Origin PR stunt.
Oh, yes.
Never mind, I lose.
Actually,
Marques
I think
wins.
that's it. I think that's it.
That was my clown.
What about 23andMe selling their data?
sold it?
Going bankrupt.
Has it happened yet?
Oh, did it get sold? That was
Not
last
a
That
clown
hasn't
yet.
happened
That
yet.
was,
Not
that was
yet.
last month.
I know, but remember last month we were like April clown.
It's like the buyer could
Yeah.
be horrible, but it.
Yeah, they haven't sold yet.
Okay, cool, perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, we
I
can
think
keep
Blue Origin is the best one.
I think Adam's got one, but it's a hard one to top.
Okay, so my clown then is something that I just realized yesterday, which is that my phone number has been tied up in iMessage for like 2 months now since I switched to the Pixel.
So you've missed 1,000
So I've missed
messages.
so many. Ellis texted me and on Slack, he's like, yo, I texted you. And I'm like, no, you didn't. And then I saw it pop up on the messages app in my computer. And then when I opened that up, there was like 30 missed messages. And I was like, how is this still a problem? How
This
are we
is-
still dealing with this?
This is along the lines of that tech question I had maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, which is like the RCS thing not working on my
Yeah.
phone.
Yeah.
Which I think on the iPhone you have to turn off.
Yeah,
I did.
you do.
I didn't do it on my laptop, which is a separate thing. And that's why it all went to my
This
laptop.
is why I still carry 2 phones.
Did you
can't.
figure it
So
out?
annoying.
I haven't figured it out, but it has gradually started working with more and more threads.
I've seen
is weird.
a lot of suggestions of similar issues. I know you said you tried some of them, but there were people, some of them were like,
Oh, I tried a.
you had to like sign out and then like restart your phone and then all this.
Yep. No, I went through the comments. I tried basically everything
Still
everyone was
nothing.
suggesting, and nothing was working. And then a couple days later, I tried an RCS message to someone I usually RCS message, and it worked. And I was like, oh, RCS. And then I tried another thread, and it's like SMS.
Adam, that's crazy because like Ellis and Brandon must also have had their iMessage things like mess up because they never respond to me either.
So Brandon was one of the people that I had gotten a message from him like 3 weeks ago. And then I had to reply like, sorry, can you resend all this? Because like it's just stuck on my computer now.
Damn.
Yeah, well,
Very annoying.
I didn't text you, so
Yeah. You never text me.
I just tried Telegram you.
yeah, which is terrible. But
Clown.
whatever. That's the clown. That's the true clown.
That's the worldwide
At least
cloud.
David's still using
I don't have
Telegram.
these problems that you were both having, you know? All I do is get a bunch of fake spam messages every day.
So
I like it that way.
are we in agreement? Crown is switched to Clown is Blue Origin.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
how it'll. Yeah, that's
pretty
April
good.
2025 right
The
there.
PR
That's
stunt,
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's April. Oh, that's pretty. We should do a year-long calendar.
end of the year,
At the
yeah.
end of the year, that's a calendar, and it has
Crown
the
and Clown
Crown
from
and
every
Clown.
We'll
month.
collect them all.
Yeah.
Gotta collect them all. Okay.
June is probably also going to be switched to.
Switch to two.
Switch to the switching.
We'll see how June goes. Either way, hey, that's been it. We should do the trivia questions.
Oh, yeah.
Trivia, dude. Okay, let's run
the
through
wait
this.
for it thing.
You did not wait for it.
127,000 pixels per inch. That's crazy.
Per inch?
Insane. Okay.
The Sphere in Las Vegas is about to shudder.
Imagine the Sphere in Las Vegas at 127,000 PPI.
Yeah.
In HDR.
No.
It would look, the space would look like this Slack HDR.
The sphere in Las
emoji.
Vegas looks like an HDR emoji from a plane.
Yeah.
The rest of the city is kind of dim, and there's just a blasting one in the
It
middle.
also has emojis on it on the sphere.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's an HDR emoji.
I was in a hotel in Vegas a couple months ago, and I opened my windows in the morning, and it was just the giant emoji staring back at me.
That's
All right. So these are all Google services grabbed from the Google graveyard. Which one of these was an app that was used to find group activities with others who share your interests?
And lasted 11 months.
And it lasted 11 months. A, Grasshopper. B, Streams. C, Polly. Or D, Shoelace.
What is it?
A, Grasshopper.
No. What's the question again?
Oh, which of these was an app that was used to find group activities with others who share your interests?
I'm so mad that I changed my answer, which means the first one was definitely right.
Whenever I do that, I just cross it out so that the world knows that I actually thought the right answer.
Nice. Okay.
Okay,
What
we
do you
have
guys got?
different answers here.
All right. Who wants to go first?
I don't know the answer, so I guessed. I said grasshopper.
Grasshopper?
Yeah.
Incorrect.
Good. That's what I had at first.
Andrew and I both put shoelace.
You both put shoelace.
Well, I put D. Was that shoelace?
Yeah.
It was.
Okay. Yeah, because you got to lace up your shoes to go do an activity.
Well,
Is that why you thought?
That's why I thought it, right? It's to find new activities. So I'm going to go do my activity with my friend.
I sort of remember this launching because it was only a couple years ago, right?
20. Wait, let me find it. 1 second.
Also, what was option?
2020 it shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, what was option A?
Grasshopper.
Grasshopper.
What was B?
Streams?
What was C?
Polly.
Yeah, okay.
What was D?
Grasshopper
Shoelace.
is a thing in Google.
He said they're all.
Not anymore. They were all things, but now they're all dead.
Oh, well. At least I got the point.
All right. Question 2.
Yeah.
Nothing about this shoelace app screams Google at all.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't even
it looks
Google
like it was made in Canva.
Yeah, it does. No, it literally
That's
does.
the worst thing you can say.
Yeah.
It looks like you made this in
This episode
Canva.
sponsored by Canva. That
Sorry,
would be
Canva.
really funny.
They probably did make it in Canva.
Oh, God. Okay. Twitter announced the public verification system in what year?
Public verification.
The PV.
And then they got flooded with requests and they shut it down that same year.
My pen is like not working at all, but here, just do this. Yeah, here. I'll write over it.
I'll give you an extra point if you get the month. Ooh.
Okay.
All right. Flip them and read. What do we got?
I am once again guessing.
Okay.
Oh, I went way later than both of you.
We'll go in order. I guess June 2012.
Incorrect.
Are we just closest here?
Sure. Let's do closest delta.
Okay.
I did March 2014.
March 2014?
Yeah.
Nope.
Wow.
I did June 2021.
June 2021. Wrong one. Incorrect.
I think you were thinking of Elon's verification.
When did he buy it?
2021?
Was it 2021?
Or was it 2022?
I thought it was very close before he bought it. Is when they
2022.
added that form that was like, I am
No,
blank, blank,
that was
blank,
a
blank.
long time.
That's when they
before
brought
that.
it back. This is the
Oh,
first
okay.
time.
Oh,
they did it.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Then I was thinking that.
The correct answer was July 2016. So David gets the point.
2016. Wow, that's late. Huh.
That is late.
I knew I was thinking of the second one.
I thought I got
was
verified
after
in
I started
2015.
You probably got verified before the public request was open.
Oh. Cool.
Yep. All right. That was it. Quick update on the score. Marques 18, Andrew 9, David 21. David, you can legally drink now.
Let's go. I'm older
You're
than
older than the
YouTube.
oldest YouTube video.
That's right. That's right.
Or not older.
Also,
you have more points.
Yeah, the day this goes live, I'll be 10 years older than
Whoa.
this
Oh,
YouTube.
yeah. Everyone say happy birthday to David.
Woo! Happy birthday!
If you
Happy
made it
birthday,
this
David.
far
If
into
you
the
made it this
episode.
far, then you know when David's birthday is.
Officially dust.
Drop your comments below in between all the which language do you prefer the dub to be comments. We appreciate both of those.
Say happy birthday in a different language.
Do it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, feliz cumpleaños.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll be back, of course, in May. That's the next month, May.
Wow. Is that true?
May, we already know.
What about April 30th? Oh wait, but they'll not see us until May.
Until May, they won't see us
May
till May.
2nd,
Exactly.
May 3rd.
So we'll see you in May. It's gonna be May, et cetera, et cetera. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. Catch y'all in the next episode. Peace.
Waveform is produced by Adam Molina and Ellis Rovin. We're partnered with Vox Media Podcast Network, and our outro music was created by Vane Sill.
Bingo.
All right.
The Human Torch was denied a Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order.